why God exists. Since the beginning of time, mankind has always asked questions about our reality. Why are we here? What is our purpose in life? And why is there something rather than nothing? But the most asked question out of all of them is, does God exist?
When we look at our universe, we have no choice but to ask why. Why does the universe exist? Could it have been by chance? Could the universe have just happened without any explanation? And simply could have been a coincidence, nothing more.
Let me put it into perspective for you. The probability of the universe being born by chance is so infinitesimally small that it's equivalent to throwing an atom anywhere into the universe
and pointing it out
1,000,000 times in a row. Just think about those odds. The percentage is so small that it's literally regarded as zero,
a 0% chance.
However, that's exactly what it is, because how can something
come from nothing?
There must be an explanation,
right?
Everything in the entire universe, from people to animals and even non-living things, are contingent, or more simply, they depend on another existence that explains their own. Contingency basically means subject to change or could have been another way, but let's make this easier for you to understand. Here's the first premise. For anything that begins to exist, it's dependent on another existence that caused it to exist. For example, people depend on water to exist. If water did not exist, people wouldn't exist. Water depends on water molecules, or simply H2O, 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. And if oxygen and hydrogen didn't exist, there's no water. Water molecules depend on atoms and so on and so forth, for even planets and stars that depend on their own compounded makeup. And this is observed for everything in the universe. Just sit back for a second and think, is there anything that began to exist that depends on nothing? Moving all the way out, we can conclude the universe itself had a beginning. But how do we know? Why can't the universe just be eternal? Think of it like this. If the universe is eternal, we would have an infinite past behind us, meaning there's an infinite series of events that took place before the present. But that makes no sense, because we would never reach the present from an infinite past. Infinity entails there's no beginning. An example would be numbers. If there's an infinite amount of numbers between 1 and 2, and you had to count, would you ever reach 2? No, because there is no end. But let's make this simpler. Let's say there's an infinite amount of steps between your house and mine. If you started walking, even for eternity, you would never reach my house, because there's always another step forward. The same applies if there's an infinite amount of events between the past and the present. Would you ever reach the present? No. But since we are in the present, that means it must have had a start, which is exactly what Stephen Hawking and Albert Einstein concluded. So if everything that begins to exist has a cause, and the universe began to exist, what caused it? Whatever caused the universe to exist must either be contingent or necessary. If it were contingent, it too would need an explanation, which just pushes the problem back even further. But an infinite regress of contingent causes explains nothing. Like an endless chain of falling dominoes needs a hand to start the fall. The universe needs a non-contingent, self-explanatory ground of existence. Think of it just like the house example of how you would never reach my house from an infinite distance away. If everything infinitely depended on another to exist, we would never have existence, because there is no hand that knocks the dominoes of existence down. Whatever caused the universe to exist must be the hand, the very first thing. It is the cause of the universe, which is defined as a space-time, and thus is outside of it, meaning the cause of the universe is eternal because it's not bounded by the flow of time, non-physical because it's not bounded by space, and is the cause of their existence. This reality is necessary and cannot fail to exist in any possible world because it's non-contingent, meaning it could not be any other way. Now here's where it gets interesting, and pay attention to these words, because you'll never question this existence again. In physics, causes like gravity or chemical reactions work mechanistically, meaning once the cause exists, the effect follows immediately and necessarily. If fire touches paper, The paper burns. No delay, no choice. The cause of the universe existed eternally, but the universe itself did not. That means the effect did not follow immediately from its cause. If this cause is like all others, the universe would have existed as long as the cause did, eternally, but it didn't. So what delayed the effect? This independent, necessary reality that everything depends on to exist could have simply just been. It needs nothing to exist, and nothing caused it to exist. It could have simply been by itself as the only thing in existence, lacking nothing. But that leads me back to my first question: why are we here? If this single reality needs nothing to exist and could simply just be, why do we exist? The answer: it made a decision. This independent reality made a decision to cause everything that exists and is the sustainer of all things, the only kind of cause that can exist eternally and then produce an effect at a specific point in time is a personal agent.
Because only minds can decide when to act.
Which means this reality has free will to make decisions and therefore is intelligent and is the source of our intelligence and consciousness. To create all things, this reality must know all things and is all-powerful because it did not just bring a grain of sand into existence, it created everything. Every star, every planet, even space-time itself, doing anything that's logically possible. It's all loving.
Because why would a necessary reality create us?
If it has no need, because of love. Love not as an emotion,
but love as essence. Love is an eternal act of giving to others
to gain nothing for itself. The reality that cannot fail to exist. The reality that everything depends on.
And it depends on nothing.
The reality that chose to create us. This reality goes by many names, and you can call it whatever you want. But what it is that you're describing is God. What's up guys, it's Divine. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And if you want to sponsor a video just like this one, I have my Cash App linked in the description where you can sponsor your very own video. And make sure you guys go join the Discord where you can hang out with me and Gazi. And of course, go subscribe to his channel for hopping on this one. But let me know down in the comments what you thought of this one. It's a little different than what I normally do, but I hope it got you thinking. And let me know what you guys would like to see next. Should I make a video on another argument for God's existence? I'm Christian myself, so this one really hit it home. But that's it, I'll catch you guys in the next one. And God bless all you guys.